What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Very slow start this morning after our celebrations last night, but still just doing some grinding of these seats in this head. And we'll actually get this thing together today instead of screwing around. Rightio guys, we're pretty sad and sorry. Rex did finish grinding the seats on his head, but after that it was just too hot and we just didn't feel like doing anything, so we've just been laying around lazing about all day watching TV. So I'm gonna head back to Coast now, go home. I'm gonna hand you back over to Rex for a while and I'll be back pretty soon. So rightio guys, what's going on? We are back. I noticed that when I got here, Rex didn't actually film anything from when I left from that last clip, but he did get up and do some stuff. So he did get the head back together, or back together with like the valves in. So that was just just a quick lap of the valves after the grind, and then back in the head with the springs with new valve stem seals. So he did run into an issue though. He did buy all new lifters. As you guys know, RB30 is hydraulic lifters, so Rex decided to buy all new lifters for it. And what he found was when he went to put the lifters in, that Golby's had actually sold him one lifter short. There was 3 boxes, one of the boxes only had 3 in it, so we had 11 lifters. So he's got onto Golby's. Golby's just sorting that out at the moment, but that's pretty much what he did the other day before he, packed up and came back down to the coast. So that looks pretty much just to be where he's up to. Pump's not together, so he didn't get to that. So that's where this is. So not much further along than when we were. Obviously Rex just got up and did a little bit of things before he came down. So went down to the coast. We picked up Rex's crank, so it's back from the machinist, so it's now got the extended snout on it, ready for the RB25 pump with the billet oil pump gears. So that's going to be awesome. And we also picked up the red ute, which now has 3.9 diff gears in it and has been rebuilt with like solid pinion spacer and all that sort of gear. So that ute's actually completely done now. It would have gone back to the owner ages ago. It's just that he's ended up being one of his jobs got brought forward, and he does the same thing I do, does refractory shutdown work. So he's been away for work for weeks and he won't be back until 2 weeks from tomorrow, I think. So anyway, that ute's completely done, so that's all good. So Rex has picked that up. He's gone down to MSA to get a few things that we need for both our 31s, so he'll be back out fairly soon. As for right now, I need to drag the parts car back in, because I've actually sold the long engine out of it, and I've sold the diff as well. So I need to drag that in, rip the diff out, rip the motor and box out, and split the box off the motor, strip everything else off the motor, all the bolts on, so that it's ready to go where it needs to go. And I think the diff's getting picked up this afternoon at some point. So yeah, it's all happening here. I'm glad I didn't bother pushing it all the way down the front the other day, because I would have to just drag it straight back up again. So anyway, I'll pull some stuff out of that. And yeah, when Rex gets back, we'll keep going on this thing a little bit. This weekend, plan is to push this outside and get mining and get started on it, so that'll happen over the next couple of videos as well. So yeah, again, just busy. Alrighty guys, sorry I haven't been filming much. I've been trying to wait for this rain to settle so you can hear, but it just keeps on coming. It's relentless. It's good, we need it. Rain's good. But I was just sort of waiting for the rain to settle so maybe I could film so you could hear, and it just hasn't. But anyway, a couple of blokes, young blokes came and got the diff, so they're pretty much doing the same thing that we all did, and they've gone halves in a 31 and trying to build it as cheap as possible, so they got a good diff out of that, so that's awesome. So props to them. I got the diff out, got the throttle cable out because we're going to use the throttle cable for X's, and also got all of the brake lines out of the car as well because we're going to use those for X's too, and then just dragged it outside with the digger. As you saw, I got the motor and gearbox out. I've sold the motor as just a long motor, so I completely stripped all the other ancillaries off it. Going to leave the exhaust manifold and the intake manifold on it because, you know, they're not really much use to anyone anyway. So since then, pulling that out, cleaned up a bit. We've just been working on Rex's car again, and we are just, at the moment, he's bought this new 600 by 300 intercooler. So the intercooler that was on this was just this little one here. Only little, not the greatest amount, it's just not that nice. Brand new, nice black Aeroflow 600 by 300. Same size as the one that's on mine. Gonna mount it exactly the same as the way mine is, and route the intake pretty much the same as the way mine is. So a lot of this car is gonna be very similar to the way mine's set up, but albeit just, you know, more power. Firstly because of the gearbox and the coil, and just a bit tidier because we're putting in a fair bit more work into this one than I put into mine. So mine was very much just you know, get my R31 thrown back together so I can go drifting again. Rex's is this one's more of a, you know, build a really nice car, showcase sort of what we can do with an engine bay. You know, with not a lot of effort. Like, you could go ahead and smooth this out properly, but still, it's going to be a really nice, tidy car when it's done. So anyway, hopefully you can hear me because this rain's freaking loud in this shed. But yeah, I don't know if you can see out there, skyline. Anyway, just set it on the ground for now. It'll be right. It's a pain because I wanted to get mine up here. Well, by the time we got that outside, the plan was to get mine up here. But because of the rain here and because we've just reshaped all this driveway, it's still really soft. It needs to be like, you know, moist, like needs some moisture in it so we can really compact it down properly. So when it rains like this and hasn't been compacted properly, trying to get things around and tow things around just makes a mess. So trying to get my skyline up here is just going to be an absolute mess. There's a few other things I wanted to do. I wanted to get the trailer up here and get it ready for a dump run because it's, you know, it's been a couple of cars we've done in the past month. We've accumulated a bit of a pile of crap out here that needs to go to the dump. So a lot of things I wanted to do, but this rain's sort of really slowing it up. The other thing you sort of seen when we pulled the motor out, which a few people are probably really happy about, is we actually finally bought one of these. Works a treat, that was awesome. So one of those things, a few people have mentioned these to us, watching videos of us not having one, and it's one of those things I've always been meaning to buy for years and never did, but I finally went and bought one this morning. So, alright. Rightio guys, this rain is relentless, so I don't think you're going to be able to hear much of what I do, so I'm probably going to put you on like a bit of a time-lapse sort of thing of what I'm doing and then try and just voice over it after, just to try and keep going. So, while Rex is busy doing his intercooler mounts, working that out in his car, I'm going to start on my catch can. As you saw the other day, or maybe you didn't, but I got my mate to, he's got a guillotine, a bit of a sheet metal workshop, so I got him to cut up my my net for my catch can that I made up. So I sent them all to him and he cut them all up for me and got them all ready. So I've got them ready, I just got to start now tacking together. I was waiting for the fittings to do that, which Rex got today. So they're here, so I can start on that over there while I can't do much else in the rain. So Rex is busy doing his intercooler, so you can do that, and you can come with me and watch this, and I'll try and voice over it later. Rightio guys, so the rolled rain sort of started to slow up on us a little bit, so you might be able to hear what I'm saying, so I might be able to just put some music over all that time lapse and actually start talking about it. So, first time I've ever tried something of this sort of nature. Previous to this, only done pipe, or tube, as you've seen on the channel. So definitely something new doing these sorts of joints. Have not done them before, and did have a lot of trouble. Mostly the biggest issue I had is that the cuts weren't perfect and I didn't take the time to make them perfect. So same as tube, if the cuts aren't perfect, if they don't butt up perfectly, it's really hard to get a nice weld and not blow holes and keep it consistent, especially when like some of these joints, particularly this one here, was like it started off really good, but as it got towards this end, it actually spread further and further. So that's why that weld is so wildly inconsistent. So you know, there are some there I'm fairly proud of. There's a lot there I'm not proud of at all. So all I tried to do was try to put as much filler in, like a fair bit of filler, so that I can actually polish this out and just paint it. So my original plan was hopefully to do this nice enough that I could leave it raw. Evidently not so. But anyway, you know, I am very new at this sort of thing, so I can't really go complaining too much. It's not really that bad. But I'll just polish it out with some flappy wheels and actually polish it all out, and then I'll yeah, just paint it so it looks nice, I suppose. It's still going to do the job, obviously. It's only a catch can. It's not like it's under a heap of pressure or anything like that, so it's not particularly important that the welds are like impeccable. But you know, it just would have been nice to leave it in there and leave it raw so that they're on show. But definitely the last thing I want is for these welds to be on show at all. The other thing is, like, a lot of these pieces are actually quite wavy. You can see that one there. This was actually cut up just out of a stainless bench top, so Matt gave it to us real cheap, which is all good. So nothing wrong with it, just made it harder to weld, essentially, is what I am getting from it. But anyway, it was awesome practice, had a lot of fun. Obviously now my plan is to weld the fittings into it where I want them, and while the bottom is open, I will weld in my baffling, and then once all the baffling and fittings are in, then the base can go on and get welded up as well, and then it will be complete. But anyway, Rex has had to steal the welder for a bit, so which is alright, because my arms and stuff are starting to cramp up wildly. That's the other thing, is I actually have a lot of bad nerve damage in my arms, so really enjoying learning to weld and sort of teaching me a bit more coordination again, since, you know, my injuries and my arms being so flapping retarded. So Rex has finished mounting his intercooler, which looks real good. So it's just a bit of angle all the way through. It made it super strong, plus mounts on the bottom, and then he's just going to mount his bonnet support off that bit of angle in there as well. So he needs to weld that up. And since he's been waiting for me to use the welder, he's just been starting on his rust repairs in the inner guards. So started just clearing as much as he could off the top level. This is all double skinned, so it's not like you can just go cutting it all out. Obviously, that's not going to work. So what we did do is, last week we actually rust converted all this. So this has all been sort of just ground out with a wire brush and then rust converted. And at the moment we're just trying to scrape off as much as we can, and then we'll plate over the top.
All this old seam sealer was all brittle and cracked, and that was starting to lift. You can see the rust is starting to get in, so I actually chipped all of it away. I'll clean that up, rust convert it, and then when I'm finished with this, I'll seam seal the whole lot again. So
yep,
that's
so it'll be all plated back up and seam sealed and rust converted. Rust converter just stops rust from spreading. It just sort of is like a corrosion inhibitor for parts that have already started to rust. So you're much better using that and trying to leave some structural integrity in this, rather than just literally cutting out the whole double skin. That's retarded. That's not going to work. So
well, that's sort of how you go if you wanted to fix it properly. But you can. It's rusted through here to the skin behind, so you'd have to cut all of this out, then cut out behind it, start from the inside, and start replacing everything out, and we'd be here for.
That's what I mean for this sort of panel.
Weeks.
But you know, with rust converter and then plated over the top, it'll be not my lifetime by the time this thing rusts again.
It'll be years and years and years.
So,
and it is like it's going to be a track car. Chances are it's more likely to get binned.
Yeah,
before
it gets to the point where the rust is going to be an issue.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
but anyway,
that's the point of not going too far with it. Is like you could go to all that trouble, fix it, and someone will buy it, and then just bin it straight away, and you just be like,
It's already still. There's a lot of work we're going through to make it nice. So
yeah.
that's pretty much the best we can do with these rust parts at the moment with what we've got. So that's what's happening to them. So anyway, I'm gonna get on the flappy wheel and start cleaning up this thing. This ugly box. Anyway, what do you do? Needed the practice. It was awesome. Good practice. Alrighty, sorry guys, got a bit carried away with the lack of filming, but I've got to say, I'm going to have to get better at welding real quick, because polishing all these welds out takes so much freaking work, holy crap. But anyway, they're all polished out, doesn't look too bad, drilled my holes for my fittings as well. So anyway guys, that's where I'm up to. I'm going to continue this tomorrow, because it is like midnight, and I'm getting very tired, and I would like to go to bed and get some decent sleep so I can get up early, and try and get everything else I need to get done to my car done tomorrow. So I'm hoping tomorrow the rains let up a little bit so I can actually get my car up here, start getting it sorted, start working on it, start getting what I need to do done. Because I need to get done pretty soon so I can sell it, because I need the money fairly soon. So same with this thing. So it's all systems go here, as you can see, but Rex will finish that off. So we'll check back in on the next video, which will be tomorrow. Well, for you guys it'll be probably another 2 days, but thanks for chiming in. As always guys, thanks for watching. Smash like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers guys, catch you later. Not bad.